welcome back to another episode of the Occasionally Accountable Podcast. Welcome back.
What up?
We are in March. Happy March.
Sorry.
We are in the month of March. This is my favorite month.
Oh, we are for this.
For this episode, you'll be hearing this. I'm not going to try to, clear out the fake Hollywood smoke. This is not March right now, but you'll be hearing this in March. This is my favorite month. So happy March. Because it's my birthday month. Period.
It's her motherfucking birthday.
It's my birthday month. So happy March.
Did pricing season officially start yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember the first date, but I have seen the post, so I know that it's begun. I know that it has initiated.
You're like, I'm not worried about anything else other than my birthday.
Yeah, the end of March is kind of more my vibe because that's when my birthday is. But yeah, so happy March and welcome back to another episode. My name is Briana.
I'm Brittnation.
Yes, and welcome to the fam.
Hey, y'all.
How are you doing, Brittany?
Good. I am a little tired at the moment, but overall I'm doing good. I feel a lot more peaceful. Mm-hmm. So that's good.
That's always important.
Yes. I'm with that, How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm doing really good. I am excited for a couple of things that we have coming up.
Okay.
I wasn't excited about my birthday until you talked about it today, and I was like, I was excited, but I don't know, I just try not to think about it till it gets closer, and so now I'm excited about that, and then I'm going on a trip, which I have not taken a vacation. I was thinking about how long it's been. It's been almost 3 or 4 years since I took a vacation, just for fun, not to go visit family or whatever. I wouldn't even count visiting friends necessarily a vacation, but go some a destination and just not do anything.
Yeah. I
haven't done that since before COVID.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't think I've done that since prior to COVID.
Well,
either.
would you count New York? I feel maybe you had an agenda for New York.
Yeah, I feel I haven't gone and just completely relaxed somewhere.
Yeah,
because even New York is
you can't relax in New York.
Nah,
that's not relaxing.
It's time to be outside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's time to.
That's when your senses, they stimulate in New York. Yeah,
okay, New York, you're very stimulating.
Yeah, and we went in June.
Mm-hmm. And we coming back.
Yeah, we went the weekend of June 12th or something like that. So
yes,
yeah. So it was was cool.
Been on a beach. I do miss a beach. I haven't sat near some water outside in the sun for multiple days sipping.
I just can't wait to take a nap on the beach.
That's gonna be fantastic.
Oh my God. So anyway, I'm looking forward. That is how I feel. I feel like I'm looking forward because at first, so I booked the trip, and I don't know why I didn't think that I needed a passport, but
girl, we've been talking about this passport on the show for 6 months.
We literally
You got a passport?
Well,
oh my God, Bree.
So then there was an issue with the passport because I didn't sign the passport papers.
Bree.
I didn't sign the passport papers, so I sent the passport back. And so then we had an issue with the timeline, but we figured everything out, and so I will have all my documentation, so I'll be able to go. So now I'm officially excited to go, because at first I was like, I don't know what we're going to do. I'm going to get smuggled on or steal somebody else's ID or something, because I'm going. I'm going, regardless.
Bree, you be having me weak.
Yeah, I didn't sign the paper. Even the post office lady was like, "You was in a hurry, weren't you? How you sent me the thing and not sign it?" It was a black lady.
Loved it.
That was a bit spicy for my demeanor right now. I'm clearly in my feelings about this, but black women, they don't care.
She's like, get out that shit and sign this fucking.
She was an older black lady. She didn't care about my feelings.
About
that. She did not care.
Either. I'm gonna have fun today. So some fool came in here, didn't sign that paper. I'm gonna be like, girl,
look at you,
looking
all sad. Can't go on your trip because you ain't signed the passport.
Judging. The way I cannot wait to be an old black person. Yeah. Oh my, I'm about to be ignorant. I feel like in the last episode I talked about we were talking about what our toxic thing is, and I'm like, my mouth be wild. Mm-hmm. Oh, when I get to 70,
after 60,
all of the work that I've done to hone
unravel it.
I'm gonna unravel.
You don't need it.
And I'm gonna spend the last 20 years of my life saying whatever the fuck I want to.
First thing comes to mind, say it.
Why not?
Why not?
It may hurt your feelings. I don't care.
It's not your business.
It's not mine. That's for you to take with you for your day.
All that work that I did all these years, who cares? Throw it away.
I don't give a fuck. I'm about to go in my garden with these flowers. I care about how you felt about what I said. I'm 85.
There's some realness to that, though. There's some truth. I don't know if that's all toxic. I think some of that's kind of on point a little bit. So, do you?
They gonna be like, don't invite grandma because you know she gonna be in there. And I'll be like,
hopefully by 70 you've honed it in.
I'm letting it all go.
Oh, okay. Well, do you?
My grandma was like that too. My grandma had a very, now that I think about it, my grandma she's still alive, but she had a spicy tongue before she found the Lord and then calmed it down. And I forgot the other day that she's also Sagittarius. So I'm trying to do the reverse of what she's doing. She was spicy for a long time, found the Lord, calmed it down. Yeah. I'm trying to unfind the Lord.
Okay. All right. Sure.
After growing up in a church.
Trying to
and get spicier.
Redefine.
Don't correct me.
Trying to
trying to go the opposite route. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that means by the time I'm 85, I just want to be fighting regularly. Just playing. I don't want to do all that.
However you want to show up when you're 85 is how you show up at 85. And no one can stop you because you're 85.
Lit.
85. One of the things I wanted to talk about today is what we ask for and then what we really need. And as you were talking, I'm imagining you in your freedom and just vibing out, just in an ocean somewhere, just maybe even dreads. I don't know why I saw dreads. I don't know how you feel about dreads.
I've debated getting locks. I said when I turned 40, I was either going to cut my hair, do a really, really short cut because I've never done that, or do locks.
I could see some really locks and you're just in your freedom,
100%.
I could see that.
100%.
Yeah. And what you actually want.
I want to be Snoop Dogg, but the me version of that. I just want to be able to move through the world high and doing hella shit and everybody loves you.
I was watching
whatever the fuck he wants to do.
I was watching these clips of Erykah Badu this past weekend, and she is the perfect embodiment of that. She is just free in who she is. She's just free. She wears bells when she wants to wear bells. She puts on a weird hat when she wants to do that. Her makeup it looks like a mix between
futuristic galactic,
but also pretty. It's she it's tribal but pretty but weird. She just seems so free. And as I was watching these videos, I was I would love that. And I think a lot of my the work that I do around my life is really around that, which is freedom, just being free. But the things that I ask for almost add additional restriction. So for example, I wanted a house. I want a house. I'm I don't know why my thing is about a house. It's gonna come with so many more responsibilities and so much. But if I want freedom, I feel like a house for some reason embodies freedom. But it really comes with a lot of things that are kind of opposite of freedom. You're stuck in your mortgage. You're stuck in this home. If something breaks, it's on you. It's very financially restricting. It can be very financially restricting. And so is that really what I want, a house? Or is it in my mind, I for some reason correlate house with being more free. And so I'm I want a house, I want a house, I want a house. But that's really not what I actually want,
Yeah. I also think it's I kind of want to I want to own land.
Yeah.
And I'll build on that what it is. But I feel like owning a home, government be coming in here with eminent domain and all this other stuff. Insert all my Hotep beliefs. But to your point, though, I do think that sometimes I have to hone myself into asking what I want something to feel like as opposed to the thing.
Yeah.
Or also being very specific. Because I do think that there are times where you'll ask God for things or the universe, whatever, and you get it and you be like, wait. I don't think I really wanted this.
Yeah.
But I think that one of the things I've learned from Francesca Medina talks about this a lot, and I think she got it from Miriam Hasnea, but whatever. Talking more so settling into how is it that I want to feel in whatever this thing I want. And I think that's how I've always tried to go about manifesting certain things. Even my apartment now, I feel like that was a manifestation of me being in my last place, being unhappy in my last place, and going, this is how I want my home to feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have any control around the context around it,
Yeah.
but I do know that this is how I want my home to feel. And there are moments where, very frequently, I sit in my apartment and I'm like,
your apartment does feel really good.
Exactly how I said I wanted this to feel.
Yeah.
I tell my apartment I love you all the time, which may be weird. I don't know, but it's also my weird personality. But to me, it's like this gratitude of like, I remember when I was like asking for this. I remember when I was asking for more space. I remember when I was asking for the ability to like have this look exactly how I want it to, have it feel how I want it to, and to be here is really dope. And one more thing I want to add to kind of also ask too is like, one of the things they had talked about is like a lot of times when we're naturally craving more space or a bigger home or whatever, it's like we're trying to prepare the fact that we're expecting our life to expand in some way.
Like nesting in a way.
No, I mean like, yes, but I mean like where you're looking for physical expansion, you're also actually looking for spiritual expansion. So like you as a person are expanding and you feel as if that version of you can't exist in this enclosed space.
Yeah.
So I need more space, and it's a representation of like you and your spirit and your light expanding as well. And I definitely I personally agree with that, because I do feel like who I get to be now in a space that I love is different than how I was able to show up in a space that I was like, it was just survival. Like I needed a place to stay. I live in the Bay Area. This is decent rent, whatever. And it just is what it is.
Yeah. I think that's really important. And I think to your point about like what you ask for, be careful about it because you might get it. Like we hear that all the time, but I think it's like we kind of miss that there's so much power in the things that we say. Like so much power. Like we think that they're just words and whatever, but like you can really you have the power to bring a lot into your life, whether you buy into it or not. Like some things are just real, so you don't have to like subscribe to it. Like you have the power to do that. And so we have to be really careful about asking for things and knowing why we're asking for it, because I'm thinking about a scenario where I was like, point in my life, I was like, I really want a relationship, and but it was from a place of desperation. It wasn't a place of being healthy at all. And so the partner that I got fed into the desperation, and so we became like very like codependent on each other, and it just got very, very toxic because I was asking for it out of a place of toxicity. Whereas I contrast that now in my relationship where I was like, I think I'm ready for a partner, and it wasn't from like I need, but like I think I want to like apply these tools in a different way this time. Now I feel like it's a little bit more of a healthy situation. So we have to be very careful about what we're asking for and why we're asking for it and the place that we're asking.
Ooh, and I think that it's important to like get as specific as possible. Like, I think when I was transitioning into the job I have now, I remember saying like, I think really what I said, I was like, I want to make more money and I want to have my time back. And it was a whole journey trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I was very nervous about getting a job because I felt like that window between when it had to happen started closing in. And that's what came to me. It was like I got to be able to do a remote. I'm blessed to have a remote job. I have more time on my hands than what I was doing before, and I do make more money. And I also think about the fact that you have to slow down enough to constantly be grateful for the things that you're asking for, because there's so many times, like there's some post that goes around. I don't want to be too like, like there's an Instagram post that says, but like, it's like you have to recognize that you're living in the blessings that you asked for.
Yeah.
So to not get into that blessing and then complain about it all the fucking time, look to be out of it all the time, like always having the destination anxiety that we talk about. So you got the thing that you asked for, and all you keep thinking about is, well, what about this thing, or what about this new thing, or this thing is frustrating, or I hate this, or this thing is annoying. Like, I know that there are a lot of times where I have to check myself about how I talk about my 9 to 5, because I'm like, at the end of the day, this is a blessing. Like, it is a blessing that you get to work remote. It is a blessing that you have the flexibility that you need to do the other endeavors. It is a blessing that you have a lot more of your time back for more money. Like, so we ask for things and we get them, and we don't respect the thing that we get. And we have to I feel like I have to check myself to be like, hey, this is what you asked for.
Yeah. And also understanding that, like, just because you ask for something doesn't mean that it's not going to come with its own, I'm going to use the word issues, but it's going to come with its own challenge. You can't live in an environment, we talk about this a lot, like, we can't live in an environment without challenge. Like, inherently, there has to be some struggle for you to grow. Knowing the difference between chaos and challenge, like we talked about in the last episode, that's really important. But, like, it's gonna come with challenge. Yeah. And so when you're faced with challenge, I know I'm immediately like, oh God, oh my goodness, here we go again. You know, even this week with my job, like, I really be chilling at my job. And this week they asked me to defrost a little bit. And I was like, nah, really? You really gonna do it? And I had to, like, check myself, like, girl, you ain't done nothing in 2 weeks. And these people asked you to send an email. Send the email and please sit down. Make the PowerPoint deck.
Because why?
Because why are you acting like this? Because what you really gonna be acting like is crazy when these people take their job back.
Yes, and I think there's something about, like, being careful that when you're blessed with what you want, you don't become entitled. Like, yeah, because if you keep getting what you want, which is what I feel like God wants to give you at the end of the day, but you don't respect it. I get nervous that I'm like, hey, when I talk to myself and be like, hey, check yourself, is like, because what are you gonna be at if you lost it? Right. You know what I'm saying? I think about, like, what would you, Brittany, what would you be at if your job fell apart or whatever, and you had to go back to teaching, and you had to go back to working 70 hours, 80 hours a week? Like, girl, hush.
Right. Right.
At least be happy that, like, you have the ability to build towards this thing that, sorry, my eye is itching. Okay. Build towards this thing that you want, and you get to do it with a sense of stability to some extent, right? Because I have so many friends that are artists that are fully in their art, and they're entrepreneurial in their art. And what we not gonna do is ever pretend like that isn't difficult as hell to only be an artist. Yeah. And not have a set paycheck coming. Like, I'm not ready to make that transition.
I don't know that I will ever.
I don't think I'm ready for that. Which is why I don't identify as an entrepreneur. Even if I have outside side gigs and things, I'm not an entrepreneur, because I'm not ready to disconnect from stability in that way. That's funny. Oh God, no. But I think that it is. I think we have to get more and more and more specific about what it is that we want, and I think I've tried to give less control over how it shows up. Yeah, yeah. Because a lot of times I feel like if I give up the control about how it shows up, it's going to show up how God wants it to show up, and it's always a way that's better, so much better in a way that I didn't even consider that was a possibility.
Yeah, you got to keep your mind open to be blown, you know, like, you gotta
blow my mind.
literally, like, because if it's something that makes sense to you, then, like, what do you need God for? Like, what's the point? Like, if you can do it and I can do it, then what's the point? But it needs to have the shock factor to be supernatural.
You trying to blow my mind?
Yeah, and that part of control.
I ain't about to say no.
That part of control is so hard, because never in a million years would I have imagined that I would be in Dallas and like doing like ever, like ever. But I think I was just open to like, all right, I'm here. You do this because I don't know what I'm doing with my life and I need some direction. And then this is kind of where I ended up. And now it's been really beautiful. But I don't think I could have there's nothing I could have done to get here. Mm-hmm. Not really. Like, I think I've taken steps and whatever. But like the way that my life looks now is just. It's just too beautiful for me to do it. It wasn't. There's no way I could have done it. So yeah, you have to be willing to like let go of the control, and then when you're in it, continue to let go of control. Because now that I'm here, I'm like, okay, I think I got it from here. I think I can do it now. And then I try to do something, and then I completely like I end up in a whole other different direction. And so it's continually releasing control.
I got it now. Don't even worry about it.
Don't even worry about it.
You didn't even get us here. What are you talking about?
I think I got the wheel now. Right. He's like, girl, please sit down.
Sit your ass down. How long into, so like when you've asked for something and you've received it, do you have a sense of like how long is the lag time between you receive it and the first time you complain about it?
It is far too short. If we had to sum up the averages,
it was like the next day.
The median is far too short. It's far too short. And isn't that so funny? And it's straight out of a place of entitlement. That's where it's from. It's like you just think that because you've been blessed, that means that you are void of any inconvenience. Like who am I to like think that I should just move through the world and like have no sort of struggle? Like the way that I was so upset that this lady asked me to do a PowerPoint, I'm like, you do know you work like for real. You'd be joking that you don't have a job, but they do pay you to do something. Like,
yo, that's real.
What about you? What'd you say?
I think it depends on what it is. Because I don't know that I have, like when I think about like my apartment, I don't think I've really ever complained about that. I've always been like, oh, yes.
Your apartment is nice. I love the natural light in your apartment. It's so nice.
It's fantastic. It was significantly cheaper in the Bay for a lot more room and space. So like, I don't think I've ever been like complained about that. I will say though, like it's things that consume my time probably that I will complain about, because I'll complain about it when I want to give my time to something else and I can't. And that something else could be literally doing nothing or literally needing to do something else. And then I'll complain about it. But I think it's like an actual like physical thing, not so much, but things that, ruffle my feathers. I hate feeling rushed. Yeah. I hate that feeling, and it's unavoidable, especially because I'm late all the time. So that is a wild conundrum that I live in every day. But I think I feel like when I don't feel like I can do exactly what I want, but that's immature. Like that's throwing a little kid ass tantrum about, oh my God, like I have to go do it. Like, cause I be doing that with my job too. I'd be like, like, yeah, ain't no way you about to ask me
to do my job,
to prepare a presentation for my department. What?
We don't got people for this?
Y'all, that's
they're like, you are the people for this?
Right? Like, that's literally in your job description. And I'd be like, no, they don't pay me enough for that. It's like, that's the only thing they pay you for.
No, they don't pay you to watch Netflix, but they do, in fact, pay you for that.
Right? They do not pay you to sit on Canva to develop logos for your podcast.
They don't pay you for that, yeah.
And then I also double down on my entitlement and be like, well, reparations, because Black people need to have, and then I'd be like, girl.
How do you know though when it's like complaining versus like something needing to shift? Because like, so I've been going through this transition in my job, and like it's one thing one day, then it's another thing, and we just keep transitioning. And I was talking to somebody about it, and I was like, I don't want to complain, but blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm really just trying to state the facts without complaining. And they were like, well, no, you have a reason to, like, feel a way about that. Like, that was, you can feel upset about it. So, like, what's the line? Like, how do you know when it's not necessarily complaining, but, like, you're expressing a dissatisfaction?
I think when it's something, I know I'm complaining where it's just like, I just don't feel like it type of thing. Like, I just don't want to do this thing. I think the other end of that is when I'm looking at something that is structurally not okay within this system of this company, and I'm still being forced into something that I know is structurally not okay. Like, that's when I'm like, nah, y'all low-key got me fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's one of those things where I go, like, if anyone was in this position, would it be fucked up? Yeah? All right, then. This is fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Versus, like, I'm just being irritable about whatever. But, like, there are definitely things within my job where I'm like, hey, like, y'all not doing this right.
Yeah.
And it lacks humanity, and it lacks, you know, any level of emotional intelligence, or you guys aren't, or people are being deceptive and all that other shit that I'm just like, all right, bro, like, I don't fuck with none of this.
I think too, like, when I after I had that conversation, I was like, you know, I think if it's misaligned from, like, a mission, then it makes sense to, like, speak up about it. But if it's strictly, like you said, laziness, or, like, just ego, a lot of it is ego, then maybe I'm just like, maybe it's just complaining, and I have to sort of check that. But I think it's important to sort of do a temperature check on, like, where you are in your blessings. Like, is this still aligned here? Is this still aligned here? Do I have to pivot here? Do I have to become more aggressive in this area? Like, where is it? Like, even with this podcast, like, I really view this as a place where we can, you know, be used and express things that we're going through, and, you know, people find commonality. But I would be lying to say, like, I don't be complaining about stuff that we have to do, like, because it is,
which I think is good that we don't always talk, because I would be like,
yeah, like, I complain because, you know, it takes up a lot of time, and it does require a lot of sacrifice, and there's sometimes we have misunderstandings or miscommunications, and so I always have to kind of center back to, okay, but, like, what is, like, the mission? Like, what are we doing exactly? And if I feel like we're off that, then okay, maybe it needs to have a conversation. But if it's just a matter of, like, I just didn't, you know, it takes up too much time, or we need to think about the workflow, or whatever, that I think is kind of a different conversation.
Yeah. I also think it's fair that we have to be mindful of, like, what is this thing trying to pull out of me or teach me? Because even with my job now, I've always had the sense that this is transitional. Like, this is not, I don't plan to do that job for the rest of my life. But I go, that doesn't mean that I'm not here to learn something, right? Whether it's I need to learn how to negotiate, whether it's I need to learn how to advocate for myself, whether in my space a lot, I'm learning how to lead. Like, there's so much I have to learn about how to lead appropriately, and how so much of that has to do about emotional intelligence, relational intelligence, what structures are you setting up? Like, you always fail to the level of how prepared you are. So how prepared are you? What is a system put in place? If analyzing, like, when people come to you with issues, or something happened, and whoever on your team, you had an expectation and they didn't fulfill it, it's before you go talk to them, look at what systems did you have set up for the communication, and is there something you can make better? Like, there's so many things I'm learning simply around project management, which is, sorry, this is a side tangent. I'm tired of looking at corporate America and being like, y'all just be putting titles to anything and just be throwing dollar amounts to it. And the fact that you will not hire somebody who doesn't have project management experience, I haven't had this experience, but whatever. But, like, you won't hire certain people who don't have project management experience with that title in their name. It's crazy, because I feel like
everything is project management.
Everything is fucking project management or program management, which is just a big ass project. Like, everything is, what is not project management?
And the tools that they teach you in those certifications can be Googled. So I don't know. It's above me. I don't know.
It's above me.
I don't know. I'm gonna just take my little position and move to the side because I don't know. I don't know how I did it.
I'm just like, what? But like even that, like understanding project management and understanding how to oh my God, communication. I feel like I get beat over the head constantly about communication when it comes to work because I am someone who can get so singularly focused on, I said this, I was direct, I was clear. How did you not understand? And I'm like learning so much more about like communication. I don't want to say there's no wrong way to communicate because there are ways that I feel like are not the most useful in communication, but like your communication style is just it's just your style. It's not right. It's not the only way. And I feel like, especially because I work in the educational space, I'm working in a space where it is important for us to understand neurodivergence because a lot of people don't think the same way. And that's why I like the term neurodivergence because it's not about like, you're this or you're on the spectrum or it's like, no, you just don't think like I do. And there is no necessarily right way to think. It's just you don't process how I process.
Right.
And how do we have conversations and communicate in a way where we both can come to an understanding or like being in meetings and then trying to talk about something abstractly. And I'm like, can y'all have like put this laid out? Like, can I see what the schedule is so I can, cause I'm a like visual learner and them having moments of frustration. And I'm like, we're an educational company and you're only expressing information auditorily and upset that people don't just get it. That is contradictory to literally what we're coming here to do. So like, there's so many ways that I go within the blessing that you asked for, even the moments where you want to complain. It's like, you're still there to go learn. Literally, like you said, you're still there to go learn some shit that you need to take to whatever the next thing is.
Right.
But it could get frustrating.
You've got to pivot your mindset, right? For sure. Yeah, I love that you talked about communication because it's definitely like a team sport.
Oh
like
my God.
It is, communication is not, and you know what? Like I think that's a really even beautiful analogy. Like when we talk about like communicating with God or like. It is not just like a one way, like, this is what I want. There you go. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a magic genie. It is give and take. And it's like about like you receiving something and doing it, but allowing it to be more complex than what you even thought it would be. Because like in my job, I would never have thought that I would have to focus on leadership or I would have to even just like the other day, a woman came up to me and just kind of in the space that I was in, she felt like it was safe to come talk to me about how her like supervisor had been harassing her and, she's not an English speaker. And so she didn't even have the resources. Like if I were to be so like singularly focused on, well, that's not my job. Like my job is to do this. I would like completely miss an opportunity to like help this woman outside of the content of like, what we're here to do as far as like our job descriptions. And so, I mean, I think we have to be open to allowing it to evolve into whatever it is and understand that whatever it evolves into is for our greater good and not being limiters of that.
Yeah. And I think too with jobs too, it's like just in general, like people would be so much happier if we worked in a way that we had more balance. Like I would complain a lot less. Let me phrase this. I now complain less. I still complain, but I complain less now because this isn't my whole life, which honestly was a shift of literal, like I need a new job that doesn't take up this much time. But it was a mindset shift because my identity was so tied up in what I was. Like I was a teacher and I'm going to be a fantastic teacher and I'm an educator. And like everything about me was wrapped into this thing. And I had to like be pulled away from that and realize that actually you're a very multifaceted human being. Like I didn't even think to myself as being someone that was creative 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, because I have the space and the balance, I can then explore these other aspects and even see the beauty in how all of these things tie in to each other and how all of these steps are working towards whatever plans that God has for my life. Like, I still think to myself, it's so wild that everything I'm doing now, I can find a place in my life before that supported this moment.
Yeah.
Like, to have run the leadership class and had to have put on every event. Like, the reason why when it comes to, like, we're talking about like the Juneteenth event or whatever, the reason why I don't have fear around like, oh, I'm gonna plan an event and put these places together, invite everybody, let's join. And I go, that's not something I've ever done in that context. But like, oh, I did this for 4 years in a different context. I just didn't know, and it just needed to, it's a transfer of skills that you realize, like, I need to, this whole thing is now being like, bitch, you need to stop complaining about your job.
Literally.
This is me. This is, I'm like, okay, I get it. But it's like, there are so many ways in which you're exactly where you need to be.
Yeah.
And you're exactly learning what you need to learn if you pay the fuck attention and like get all that extra shit, and the extra shit being your ego and all the extra shit, but like focus on what am I here to learn right now? And that would help me to like feel better about enjoying the process.
Yeah. 100%. And you know, I stopped asking for things because I was like, I clearly don't know how to manage these things. I walked in my apartment and said, oh, no, you can't manage things. You don't need things anymore. You've got enough of those. And I started asking for just like clarity. So like I'm often like, you know, challenge my mind, open my eyes with my ears and my heart to accept the things that you want for me, because I clearly am not a good determiner of that. And the more that I pray that prayer and really like walk in it, the more ease I'm seeing in my life. And the more that I realize I actually have everything that I need.
Come on.
To be honest, I have too much.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't that I got anything else, but it was that my eyes were not open to like, your life is like amazing. You know, like even with the challenges, even with the struggles, like there's so much that goes on the earth, the earthquakes, and just even in our backyard. I mean, there's just so much that goes on, and to live the life that I have been so fortunate to live, like I have everything. And so what for me was like a shift in thinking really shifted my life and my perspective. Like, and I didn't have to get anything else. I don't have to manage anything else. Like, I feel like I have enough.
That's I think even shifting that mindset to abundance is, as you're saying, is like, it's actually physically like a mindset shift. It's like looking at your life and being like, I have to always ask myself, like, in this moment, right now, do you have everything you need?
Yeah.
And it's not about, well, at some point in my life I want to have it. No. In this moment right now, do you have everything you need? And I'm like, I'm going to need to get home. Well, I got gas in my car. Like, I'm going to need to eat when I get home. Well, I got all these groceries that I bought the other day.
Good for you.
Shout out to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only thing I don't got right now is some weed. But like,
yeah, I just gave her that weed 2 weeks ago. Was that 2 weeks?
2 weeks, girl.
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
That would have been gone, but but like existing in the mindset of like, I have everything I need, and it's crazy because I feel like when I get to that space, all these extra blessings just start coming in, and I'll be like, wait,
yeah,
look at this new thing,
right?
Okay. Why does check randomly come in? Thank you, Gavin Newsom.
Okay, come on, Gavin.
No, that's why I don't want to. I have to register. But yeah, sorry, our video cut, but we back. We about to finish it out. I think that it is important to have the moment to like bask in the abundance of your blessings. And I had brought up, like, I had a conversation with a friend a while ago about something really great had happened on his journey, and I was like, oh my God, like, let's have a moment, let's talk about it, let's celebrate it. And he was like, you know, I don't do that because, like, if so, you're gonna get complacent in like that and not keep pushing forward. And I thought, I was like, you know, to myself, I was thinking, well, that's kind of crazy because I've never seen you be complacent ever.
Right,
like, whole journey of your career, I've never seen you be complacent. So I don't really think that that's what's gonna happen. But I think that I feel like not having a moment to bask in the abundance of a blessing, especially the things that you've been asking for and to practice that regularly, it makes us miss the fullness of the experience. Like, I always feel like I don't want to get to my deathbed and feel like I just bullet trained through life and never understood the fullness of what was happening around me in those moments.
Right.
And I also think that, you know, I have the personality to typically always be analytical and therefore critical. I'm sorry. In the previous video, she said you're getting better with that. I wanted that affirmation.
Oh, sorry. Brittany is better at not being so critical.
No, but my brain does typically very much go to like, how do we fix it? How do we make it better? What is it to do better? And I think slowing down enough to like, instead of coming to people, to our point about communication with other people, it's like, instead of coming to people to be like, this is what you're doing wrong and this is how you should fix it, or what about these things? It's like, how you make them feel is not a waste of time.
Yeah. And I love that point that you made, because it's like, it is very, very important that we take the time to set a safe environment. That's everything. And I feel like sometimes we kind of miss that as like, oh, well, that's not part of my resource belt. Like, that's not part. How you feel about what I'm doing ain't part of my resource, you know? And at the end of the day, like, that really is everything in the evolution of who you are, because your next evolution is going to require an evolved self as well. It's not just the evolved setting, but it's the evolved self. And if you don't take the time in this phase to evolve yourself through challenging the way that you show up and the way that you communicate with people, who you are in your next evolution, it won't be able to handle the evolution. You know, you won't be able to. I was having this conversation with my friend, and they were like, oh, I have this. And I was like, I get that, but like, if you want the next level, you think that this is going to be a lot. Like, imagine what your life is going to be like when you have the thing that you really, really want. Like, you have to be able to create the set and the setting and be very intentional about your environment and the safety that you create around yourself. Yeah, I think that's everything.
And I think at a lot of the interviews and stuff that I listen to, because I'm like a little podcast junkie, is just the thing I can hear over and over and over again is like, I do not want anything fast.
Yeah.
Because anything that comes fast means I completely missed the preparation period.
Ooh.
And I'm going to lose it.
Ooh.
And I'm like, that preparation period may feel like you're going uphill in a hot ass sun with 10 pounds of sandbags on you all the fucking time. But the reality is I would rather that during the preparation period, so that when I got there, I've been training, so this is easy work now. Because we only keep going, right? So like, you get this thing that you've been wanting, you get there, and then and now because you're prepared, you can move easy, you're agile, you got it. But at some point, there's something else that you're going to attain, whether it's a physical thing or not. Whether it's, okay, now that I've reached this point in success or whatever in monetary things or physical things, like, I really want to make sure like this part of my relationships are developed, and and that's going to be hard because I'm still trying to pull something out of myself that I'm not used to. Like, there's always something to be worked on, and not to say that in the sense of like, there's always something to do. The checklist will keep growing and saying, that's just life. There is always going to be something to work on. So how are you dealing with the right now? Because all of life is going to come with its own challenges. So, like, I think it's really important to have the character to receive the blessing.
Yeah.
And maintain it. And as you said before, have the wisdom to keep it.
Yeah.
Have the wisdom to nurture it how it's supposed to be nurtured. And at the end of the day, if you are really looking at your gifts as something that flows through you from God in service to other people, how could you move through the world not giving a fuck about how you made people feel? Yeah. And that's me talking to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm very much like I said before, I was very like, why the fuck would I waste my time having to stroke your ego when I can just tell you what you did wrong so you can fix it? You know?
Yeah.
And it's like that mindset is so damaging and so scorching of earth
Mm-hmm.
in people and relationships, where in reality, like, the whole reason that we're here to express our gifts is to be in service to other people and be in community. But if we don't give a fuck about people, what are we doing?
I agree. I would say we're here to, one, be of service to others, or two, clarify our vessel so that we can be of service to others. Because sometimes you can't just, if you yourself aren't filled, you can't keep pouring out into others. So I think it is a two-part. And if what you are doing doesn't do one of those two things, that's where you need the wisdom to say, hey, maybe this is not exactly right. Yeah.
And we also never need to downplay the value of connection. Like, we're literally humanly wired to need to connect. So if we keep trying to do it on our own, like, it not only is it going to be a lonely experience, but you're going to get to wherever you're trying to go to and have nobody to be there with you. Like, I'm not trying to become a fantastic, like, interviewer for me to get up and go backstage after my great ass show and then be like,
everybody cleared the room.
Who we popping bottles with? Nobody's here, nigga. Nobody's here. Like, no, I want to accomplish my shit, but I also want the community around, so I can, when I go backstage and pop a bottle, I want my niggas around me, popping bottles with me.
Yeah, and also
acting a fool.
And if I haven't pulled up anybody with me on my journey, like, why did I even do it? Yeah,
that's a whole other episode.
We'll save that for the next
one. Now that you started that thought in my head, I'm like, that's a whole other episode about how people will tell you. Never mind, we're not about to do that.
All right,
we're not about to
stay
do
tuned. We'll just wrap up here.
Because I also need to think through that, because otherwise that's going to come out in a way that's probably more fucked up than it needs to be. But yes,
yeah. Well, I think that really cleared up wrapped up. I'm sorry. The episode for today is just around being very mindful of the power that we have as humans. Whether you subscribe to it or not, there is power in what you say. And before you ask for another thing, ask for the spiritual tools as well.
Ooh, that's a bar.
Before you ask for the house, what is it that you need to clear out in yourself to be able to really get the thing that you need? Is it that I want the house, or is it that I want freedom? Is it that I want more money, or is it that I want to feel financially safe? And that doesn't necessarily have to be the same thing. So I think that's what I'll take with me for this episode, and I hope that that resonates with somebody. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of the Occasionally Accountable podcast. The OA. As always, don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe. We are on Instagram and TikTok at _OA podcast, and we are on YouTube at
the Occasionally Accountable.
In my head, I saw it, but then I said something different.
I got you. Partnership.
We're at the Occasionally Accountable podcast on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support, engaging in our videos, and just keep doing that. And don't forget to share our videos with a friend so that we can continue to grow our community. Because community is important. All right, y'all. Stay tuned for the post show, and we will catch you in the next one.
Bye. Post show.
We're back.
We here. So this week I would like to so on our TikTok, we had TikTok is a new world, because when you go into there, it's a bunch of people you don't know. And a couple of, I think it was last week, we did a post from a clip of the episode where we had talked about, like, patriarchy. And we had some comments by some men that weren't loving it. Right? They were one was like, men this, men that. What about the women raising these men? And I was like, oh,
that
Lord.
one was a little more.
Lord. Yeah. And the other one was like, damn, y'all make it sound like we at war or something like that. So here's what I would like to do. Though I do feel, let me caveat, because I'd be like, y'all not about to check me. No, though I do feel that is projection. For someone to listen to a piece of a clip and be triggered and need to go respond and react that way or whatever, I'm like, you're triggered off your own shit and whatever hurt you're dealing in and whatever. That's the caveat. But I do want to make it very clear that in all of, I'll speak for myself, and I think you speak for yourself too, of course, but like in all of my isms, like in my womanism, in my pro-blackism and all those things, like I can acknowledge ways in which I feel like the world needs to change and still love Black men. Like I love y'all. Like
absolutely.
Not fucking nobody else. You know
absolutely.
what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I really believe in unity. I really believe in all of that. And given there will become multiple times in my podcasting career where I will critique patriarchy for sure, because it oppresses me constantly. But I don't want this to feel like a place where we don't care.
Definitely not us versus them at all.
It's not that energy. And I know people who know us know that that's not real, but it's just, we're growing and we're moving. So I would love to spend our post show talking about all the things we love about Black men.
Oh, fun.
Love your face, Bree. When I say all the things, we're gonna give some things we love about Black men.
No, you know what? This is a fun exercise. When you first brought it up as an idea to do in the post show, I was like, I don't know. But I think my reaction to that shows that there's not enough of that on the internet.
Come on.
Because I'm always afraid that, like, if you start doing that too much, then you look a little like pick me, a little pandery. It's like, they should know, whatever. But I think the assumption that Black men know that they are loved is dangerous.
Come on.
Because I think there's so much evidence out there to show that that's actually the opposite of the truth. Even that those people's reaction to the comment, it's like their opinion is very valid, whether or not we resonate with it in the same way. If that's what they feel, that's what they feel. And so we could approach that in aggression or being combative, but I think it's a really kind of a unique and beautiful moment to say, you know what, you clearly don't feel love, so let's make it abundantly clear that we are moving in love. Like we talked about this in a couple episodes ago, but let's make it abundantly clear that we're moving in love and that we do love Black men.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with saying that.
Girl, I love niggas.
I do love Black men. So I will go first since I was the one who didn't want to do this.
Accountable.
So one of my favorite things about Black men is their strength. I think Black men are so strong, and not in the way that's like toxic and masculine, but I think they have the capacity to take on a lot from a lot of different angles. Women, we can be very emotional and respond emotionally, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's important, but I think when it comes to sometimes taking on a lot of things, we're maybe not as adept in that because of the way in which we approach different issues that come up, So I love the strength of Black men.
Yeah, I think the value in like honoring that a lot of the reason why we are where we are is from the fact that this person has had to suppress it and hold it and all of those things, and that takes a certain type of strength. So I vibe with that. I fuck with niggas swag. The swag of a Black man is unmatched. It's unfucking
It is legitimately.
Oh my God, it gets me in trouble. Like,
you cannot reproduce it. I know. The white skin spicy.
They try.
The white boys getting a little spicy, and we do see you. However,
I don't. No, just
what's old boy's name? Travis something. He football player. Something like white boy last name Travis.
I know what you're talking. I don't know who he is, but I know what you're talking about. He's dating a Black girl, right?
He was at some point.
Yeah.
We'll maybe put what his actual name is in, but he's a little spicy. But it's nothing like
the
swag of a Black man. Oh,
and when I tell you the swag of a confident Black man can undo all draws. At
any generation.
Lord.
It is. Yeah, I see why y'all be trying to harvest our stem cells. It's different. It's different.
Y'all have a swagger and a move and a style and an energy and just like a ness about y'all that is like, whew.
Yeah. I love black men's playfulness.
Oh, y'all funny as fuck.
Like seeing, it's like, there was a hashtag like Black Boy Joy for, I haven't seen it in a while, but it had been going around. And like just seeing like black men and just their happiness and their joy or whatever, that is just like, that's infectious. Like I loved when men get playful, like even if it's with their homeboys or whatever, like laughing, having a good time. I love that because it's so like, feels genuine. You know, it just feels very like real and authentic and true. It's just, I love it.
Black men who love black women.
Mm.
Oh, Jesus. Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it.
And who are unapologetic about it.
Oh, my God. Unapologetically love black women. They find us beautiful. God, and I mean, maybe that's a selfish thing to love about somebody else, but like, it's just something about a man who unapologetically a black man who unapologetically loves black women that is so, it's sexy, but I don't want to reduce it just to a sexual or sensual thing. It's literally life-giving because we're meant to be connected in that way. We're meant to be loved. And loving black women doesn't have to be a sexual thing, right? Like, even the black men in my life who help to take care of me, whether that's my father, whether that's my brother, I talk about Lex on here, I talk about Emmanuel on here. It's like the black men who contribute to my life to help make sure that I'm taken care of because they fuck with black women.
Yeah.
Like it is a sense of like love and joy and tribe and community. Like I do not look at my tribe as just black women. My tribe has both, and I love that it has both. Yeah. Like to me, it's like a big ass cookout. Just like a big ass cookout all the fucking time. Yeah. And it's so fun, it's so joyous, it's so fantastic. So let's get one more.
I love black men and creativity. Ooh. I think, and I really do believe every human is creative, but there's something about a black man who has stepped into their creative nature. Brittany's about to have a whole fit.
Y'all know I ain't been dating in a minute. Lord, you bringing it out of me.
You see what it does?
You see what it does to me.
Brittany about to flip the whole chair over. But there's something that vulnerability and that expression and that just raw honesty. It is something. It is something different.
Any form of creativity.
I don't know what it is, but it is different.
Jesus.
Art.
Yes, he will.
Music, fashion, food, whatever your expression, whatever your expression is.
Entrepreneurship, whatever that form of creative expression is, boy.
When they are stepping into it fully, oh man.
When I tell you, I'm telling you, intelligence and creativity will make me not see a whole lot of shit. A whole lot of red flags. I'll walk right past that.
Oh man.
I definitely value how I've seen the black men in my life show up to protect black women. Yeah. I think to be a man, part of your nature is to protect. And moments where I had a moment where one of my exes, we were at a bar in Oakland. We were out with some of my friends who he didn't know, and some man like was touching her in a way that we didn't like, and she was expressing it. Whatever, and I know like he was like, "Hey, we not doing this shit, nigga." Like, and it turned into a little scuffle, a little
fisticuff.
But to me, there was just so much value in like, he was like, "No, you guys are with me, and this is another black woman, And there's no way I'm about, and I'm pretty sure he would have done that around any woman.
Mm-hmm.
But it's this way of like him knowing, like, no. Like, what we not gonna do is violate my space.
Mm-hmm.
And when a nigga stand 10 toes in that, I'm like, okay, Diddy.
It's appreciated. It's real appreciated and whatnot.
Okay.
Or like even if it's like little subtle things.
You a dinner, nigga.
Period.
Rent a bed. I'm about to massage you and then act up.
Even if it's like the subtle
4,000.
things, like where they like push you out, you're on the wrong side of the road.
Ooh.
And they like, I'm like, I'm very, what is it? Traditional when it comes to that.
I do, yes. Maybe I fight the word traditional, and maybe that's in me. I do believe, yes, there are certain things, like, there are certain things, that's why we always joke, because you'd be like, Brittany, seeing you in a relationship is going to be interesting. You are going to see the most girly
I know, that's what I mean by that. I know you're not really this.
It's going to be the girly, because I'm like, when a nigga really is doing what they need to do, oh my God. When I tell you, I will be of service, baby.
Come on, of service. Brittany talking about she don't cook. She gonna be making 5-course meals.
Why you think I'm trying to learn to cook now? Why you think I'm trying to learn? I told you I did pasta with a white wine reduction.
It sounded good.
Because the nigga gonna hold it down, and I gotta go in that kitchen.
You have to.
And I gotta make sure.
You gotta put some flour in some water. Right. You gotta put some oil in the pan. Right. Cut up a vegetable.
I'm saying.
Warm up a skillet.
Come on. Ooh, sorry. One last thing. When a nigga is thoughtful, oh my, when some, like, the simple things in life, I lose my goddamn mind. If I was like, oh my God, tomorrow I need to go make sure I get my oil changed, and then I wake up the next day and I go to do something and the oil is changed, what? Put the pillow down. I gotta get on my knees.
It's so nice.
Like, oh hey, I went to the fridge and I realized, like, oh my God, like I ran out of coffee creamer, and I look and be like, oh, this nigga ran to the store and noticed that I ran out of coffee creamer, and he went and bought that $1.99 coffee creamer that I love. Oh, all right.
It's over.
You want a baby? That's what.
It's
that's
over.
what I.
That's
hear.
what you're asking.
That's
for.
literally what I hear. I want a baby tonight. Like, that's what I hear you say.
That's what you're asking.
You can
for.
have it. Like, when niggas are thoughtful, even in the smallest of things. Like, I remember somebody said, there was a comedian that joked about, like, for his wife, how his wife responded when she likes, when he puts, like, she likes to put, I think it was a bottle of water in the freezer or something like that for when she wants water or whatever. And she had forgotten to do it, and she looked and saw that he had did it, and she was like, it's time.
Literally, it was so my stomach be listening to this. And Angel bought like lemon and ginger because like, it's supposed to be really good for your stomach. He was like, oh yeah, like I bought it because like I know you wanted some like lemon ginger tea. I ain't asking for no lemon ginger tea. I don't even remember telling him my stomach hurt, but he just be knowing stuff. And I'm like, see, it's so, that took zero effort, but it meant so much. Because it just meant so much that you're like not only thinking about like maybe now, but like in the future. Y'all be on point sometimes.
I'm saying.
Y'all do.
Sorry, one last one. I'm gonna have a whole list. Honesty. When a man can be honest, not cruel, but honest, and specifically like communicate. Maybe I'm taking it too far now, but communicate his emotions honestly. Lord.
A black man that communicates.
I'm just a puddle.
A puddle.
Just a puddle.
A black man with a haircut?
Now, I don't know if that makes me happy or anxious.
Or scared.
That confidence that comes with the taper.
Haircut confidence. The cut confidence.
Niggas be looking good.
They be looking good. Or a black man in a suit.
Woo!
A black man in a suit with cut confidence.
Well,
smelling good.
Oh, first of all, a nigga smelling good. Oh, Jesus. A nigga smelling good. Like, there's always these jokes on TikTok about like heterosexual men not having good hygiene. Fuck that. A lot of niggas I know, not
really
only is they ass washed, they smell good. And baby. See, this is why I gotta stay out the streets. This is why I gotta stay out the streets.
Yeah. But we love y'all.
2-3 of them things together, and I just be just missing red flags.
Ready to go.
Ready,
hot and ready to go like a Little Caesars pizza.
Like a little $5,
a little $5 Little Caesars pizza.
Like a twofer. But
we do love y'all.
Even to the men who have had, interesting comments to us. I doubt you actually took the time to watch it, but in case you ever come back around to it, and to all the other Black men who listen and watch this, we love you. Mm-hmm. We freaking love you.
We do.
We think you are fantastic.
You are.
And as I'm sure there are things in your mind about how we could all be better, there's a lot of things in our mind how you could be better. And how about we come together and both be better together?
Yeah. Better together.
You know what I'm saying? And we love y'all.
Yes, we do.
And if you mix all of those things together,
that equals a baby.
That's a super nigga.
We gave y'all the blueprint. Don't say we don't do nothing for y'all. We gave them the blueprint.
You're welcome, niggas.
You're welcome.
This was recorded on the last day of Black History Month.
As our gift. Final gift to you.
Y'all. You know what I'm saying? So,
all right.
Yes. Oh, yeah, it's a post show, so we just randomly stopped talking. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.